Smooth. Alright, wonderful, wonderful. Welcome to the show. This is the guidepost where I give guidance on godhood. Usually do it on Monday, may do one tomorrow. Not sure, but I want to jump in here today. Why? Today is the first day of Welcome Week. For those of you for some reason don't know, 4 times out of the year, for 1 week, I open up the doors to the Guild. The Guild is a 3-month-long continuous cohort class where we actually get into some of the fundamentals of practical magic in terms of making this part of your everyday life. Cast a spell, good to see you in the chat. Thank you, love. So today I just wanted to look at a few things. Specifically some of the dumb questions. I keep a spot on the Guild, on the public side of the Guild, for people to access and ask dumb questions. Please, motherfuckers always think the question they have is a dumb question. So I like to leave space for it, go through some of them, talk about it, and I want to talk about the Guild a little bit today. Let's just jump right into it. Is there anything else I want to introduce on that front? Not particularly. Yeah, let's get into it, man. Let's get into it. Yeah, I love it. There's a bit of an idea that what spirituality is about is feeling good from day to day. And as long as you're feeling good from day to day, you're up on what your spiritual work is. You feel good day to day jacking your dick. Alright? You feel good day to day, you just eating a pint of ice cream. Like, this shit ain't about feeling good from day to day. As a matter of fact, you get into the spiritual work, you're gonna feel like shit for a nice long while. And you're gonna have that nice up and down. Because it's work. It's work. Rocky, good to see you in the chat. So quite often, people, they'll read the spiritual books, they'll go to the groups, they'll find new ways to say different spiritual terms, concepts, ideas, and they'll say, okay, look, I get all that, but how do I make this part of my day-to-day life? How do I make this practical? That's what we talk about. It's not to say it's a fucking loaded question, but not a problem. That's what we talk about in the Guild. That's what we get into in the Guild. Rocky and Cass, I'm so looking forward to season 3. Yeah, the summer season of the Guild is starting up. Once again, you're always free to check this shit out. The link's in the description to get you to the Guild. It'll take you right to the public side. Alright? First thing you'll probably see are the details. This gives you all the information about the Guild. Right here. So it's getting the Guild. Boom. That'll give you all the information. You got the 2024 calendar so you can see what the schedule is going to be like, when the next welcome week is. It's going to be 3 months from now. All the details you'll need. You can get the Bookman model. You can get the basics of the metaphysics. It's all real simple. It's all real simple. I got a spy here for the student reviews, like right over here on the left. Okay, this picture of the door. This is the public side of the guild. All right, but when you're in the guild, you have access to the private side. Okay. Yeah, I finally put those free ebooks up, so you're more than welcome. You may have seen those in the images. The Three Paths and Sacred Surfaces. I'd say check them out, but do whatever you're gonna do, which is probably nothing. I can't do anything about that. But I leave a spot here on the public side for people to come through and ask dumb questions. Okay. And I wanted to look at some of these here today. Because generally I don't think the questions are dumb, but the place that dumb questions fill in, what a dumb question is a question that's basically a shot in the dark. Okay, you're not really sure what to ask, how to ask, or what's necessarily going on. So you, boom, hey, what's this? Let me start to gain the clarity. All right, confidence, clarity, consistency. These are what people are generally trying to figure out, or what they're trying to use spirituality to do, which is not difficult. But you'll have to go through this place where you don't know, where you feel dumb. Reading a new book, saying a new word, being part of the group where everyone says check, fire, and facts, and they just say great job, that feels good. And you think, just like you did with church, you'll think, okay, I went to the thing where other people are, I felt good, this must be it. I'd have made it to the promised land. And it's never the case. It's never the case. Anna Molly, good to see you in the chat. Welcome to the show. So yeah, welcome week has started. For 1 week, the doors of the guild are open. This is where we reset, because each of the 3 months, throughout that 3 months sector or segment, I guess you could say, we take an expedition into the fundamentals of practical magic. I'm gonna do my best to not make it spooky, to not make it aloof, to not give you a bunch of cliches that are easy to repeat to a Christian, because it's more than that. All right, this isn't just something you can use to go impress Christians and show them. This is for you in your day-to-day life. I'd say check out some of the student reviews. I'd say, because I can't convince you I don't pay people to leave a review, which I think is stupid, but it's whatever. But got a few reviews from people who have taken the course themselves. Okay, Rocky here, she's gone multiple seasons. Some of the people have gone multiple seasons. Ethereal Progeny. So you want to come through, see what they say. Reach out. See what there is to offer. Or you could just make an assumption into where you're already right, and that feels good. By all means, jump on it. Anamali said, I do have a dumb question about the guild. Is the consultation thing part of it or separate? Saw the bronze, silver, gold thing and I'm confused. No, that's quite all right. The consultations are separate. They're completely private. The consultation is one-on-one. No one has to know about it. No one else is part of it. You most certainly get the recordings from the audio sessions. Bronze consults are a single call for 1 hour, which is what people generally do. I think it's trash, but what do I know, right? Silver consultations are 3 calls. They're usually going to be a little bit longer than an hour. But it's 3 calls instead of 1. That way, because you're trying to get something to change. Time is a factor in change. One single call with somebody is not going to help you with the changing part. Let's say you have a single call with somebody, and then boom, after the call, you know, if you can remember everything, because they don't give you the recordings. After the call, you have a bunch of new developments. What do you do then, right? That's part of why I like to do multiple calls. So with the silver call, you get those 3 calls. With the gold consult, which is what I always recommend, because I make sure I set the day for you. You know, you get to pick your own time slot. I don't just tell you what's available. And most of the calls are always going to be at least 2 hours. We track your progress over time. You know, based on what was in the first call, we get some assignments, we get some direction to move. Then when the next one comes along, okay, how much of this worked? What did you do here? What was your experience with this? Okay, let's talk about it. Boom, now we have a direction. And then by the 3rd call, you've made 2 different moves already. And so you can triangulate what's happening. So the consultations are personal work, personal private work. When I originally started it, I wanted it to be for practicing occultists, but what I came to find that most people aren't doing anything, and they like to get started. That's why I have the guild. The guild is separate. It's not specifically consultations. It's group sessions. Okay, so it's not going to be private one-on-one, but it is private in terms of the people who are in the guild. Like if y'all look, I haven't posted any of the audios or the discussions from inside the guild. I don't. That stuff is yours. You guys get it. Al Dickey, good to see you in the chat. Welcome to the show. Shop at Costco, that gold tier looking good. That's why I set it up the way I did. You know, I priced the bronze the way I want, because really, I'd rather not do a single call with anybody, so I'm going to charge more than anyone else. Because if you really want a single call, you really want to just waste your money, go ahead. I'm not going to fight you too hard. But that gold call is what you want. Because not only is it the same price as the bronze, but you're guaranteed the 3 calls. They're going to be more than an hour. We can go in depth. We can dig. You know, I don't want to just give people a 1 hour pick my brain session. But sometimes that's what people want because they think they know what they want. And I'm not going to fight you on that. You do what you do. But the guild specifically, I made the guild for people who want to get started. For people who want to figure out how to make this part of their day-to-day life. Because just like with Christianity and religion, if you do it just on the weekends, you're faking. You know, this isn't a hobby. This isn't something you do on the side of real life. No, this is a change in real life. The whole idea of real life needs to change. When you're in the church, you give your life to Christ, they dip you in the water and whatnot, your whole life should be changing. And that's what we're focused on doing. And really, to do it, you really have to look at what the fuck you mean by your life at all. So if you would like some extra details, you can check out Occult Corner Store. There's a section there for the guild. It's got all the same information. Or you can go right here to the Guilded app. You can access it through web browser, phone, and there's a desktop application. So there's plenty of ways to access it. It's free. It's free. And I keep the details right here. Very easy for you to look at. If you want, you can download the PDF. But I made all the pages of the PDF available in images. So, boom. And you can go through this. I go through all the details. There are people you could ask. You could say something. The whole 9 yards. So yeah, I would say take a look. Take a look. Welcome Week's a whole week. All right, there's a whole week open, and I spend the week making sure I can onboard people because I don't want to be onboarding people throughout the year. I want to spend the time that we're having the class doing the class. All right, and it's not just you show up and I talk. You can go to YouTube for that. I got plenty of it. Got plenty of free stuff there. You come and you participate. You engage. Now people are always free to sit and, just observe from the back. Um, by all means, do it. But this is specifically a safe space to begin stumbling over places you have a little bit of an issue, places you need a little more help with. This is what you do. So not only, is it a community support group, but it's a continuous cohort class. With your same cohorts, we are taking this continuous class, okay, over the course of 3 months. So I don't just give you a folder full of videos to watch, and now that you've watched the videos or said you watched the videos, you're in the club. It's like, come here. We're gonna work on this. Let's get hands on. Let's talk about what you're dealing with. Let's talk about how well you understood what you heard. Not only that, but use original material for the teaching. So I'm not recommending you someone's books. I mean, if you want books, there's a text archive on the private side of the guild. So those who are in the guild, they're welcome to the text archive. I just updated this recently, to be honest. There's a bunch of different topics here. You click on a topic, boom. The PDF's available. I let you know the title, the author, the subtitles. So we got a whole bunch of different things. I recently put the Sankaya stuff here because a few seasons back, there was a conversation in the guild. We were talking about Sankaya, and they, mentioned the books. I was like, okay, cool. Let me go grab these. Boom, it's there for you, I mean, feel free, if you get in the guild, feel free to come in and download everything. Take everything, give me absolutely no credit, and never see me again if you like. You're free to do it. Not going to stop you. But for the courses, I use my own original material, okay? So not only am I giving you a cosmological model, it's a base cosmological model. That's what the Bookman model is. And you can get the Bookman model for free all the time. All right. But the reason you want to have an idea of a cosmological model is because that's what a lot of these different spiritual systems are. Like, motherfuckers, you can pick up some Kaya and read the spooky words, but you can read the Sanskrit words on the Tree of Life. But these things were made for specific people at specific time so that it fit to them, which is why there's no penguins in the Egyptian pantheon. Not because penguins aren't divine, but because it wouldn't have fit the people who lived there. That's why Sanskrit is on the Tree of Life, because it was made for the people who spoke that language in that time, in that place. All right, so the Bookman model is a cosmological model for contemporary people, more specifically Westerners. Most people don't look at the metaphysics. They just say the new word, try and tell you it's in your body, and then now you're done. And that's just wrong. But they have that whole thing. Everybody's right, and it's all your own truth. And if it's just your truth, why read anyone's book? Just believe what you want to believe. And that's when people get stuck, believing what the fuck they want to believe as opposed to learning. Anyways, my apologies. Rant. Rocky said, both the consultations and the guild are useful. I recommend both, but the guild is where it's at. Yeah, I would recommend both. The guild is really to help get you set in some fundamentals. Get your feet planted. And not so that I'm not just going to have you repeat my model. I'm not. This model is the base form of a cosmology. What I really prefer you do is we take the things that are already coming out of you and help you establish fundamentals so you can go out and do it yourself. That's what everybody wants to do. They want to go out, they want to do it themselves, and they want to be able to have conversations about it. And so you have to practice having conversations. You don't just read a book, feel good, and now you can teach. A lot of people do that. And I get pissed. But it's okay, because I'm a piece of shit. Anyways. Yeah, and I'm not just going to have you come in, you listen, I tell you did a good job, and that's it. No, we're going to talk. We're going to talk. We're going to have you say this. Not quite here. Let me move some of those things around. let you get it. Ask some dumb questions. Listen to other people ask dumb questions. You know, like-minded people who are working through the same thing. So it's not just a folder of videos. For 3 months, you're working with the same people. You can even come to the next season, and then whoever stayed, you can still work with them, and you can meet some of the new people. I think the people who stick around are some of the most valuable people, especially for the new ones. Hearing the information over again. I remember one Mr. Jupiter, right? He's been in for 2 seasons, and in the second season, he's listening to the information again, and he's like, I don't even know why I was telling myself I understood what you were saying. Like, I'm listening to it now. It's like, I didn't get it then, and I thought I did. That's par for the course. For learning anything new. But it's different when it's not just me telling you, hey, you ain't shit and you don't understand. Then you just want to feel bad. But when you see it yourself, you get to listen to the new people do what you used to do. And then see how you're still doing it. Like, whatever. But if you just want to listen to somebody read a book and then you feel good, you could have done that with the Bible. But, whatever. I don't know. I'm just some angry asshole on YouTube. Anyway. So yeah, I use all original material. I'm not giving you somebody else's model. Okay, I'm not giving you some ancient model that was made for people hundreds of years ago that doesn't fit to who and what you are today. That's the point. You need that to make this part of your day-to-day life. Like, in your day-to-day life, if you don't see lions and alligators and hippos, what good is learning? You're not going to be able to make the Egyptian pantheon part of your everyday life. You can read some of it. You can maybe understand a few correspondences. It's not going to fit to you. And it's not simply because I'm saying so. They're made to do that. And so that's what the Bookman model is. That's why I use my own original material. You're not going to find this with nobody else. But I don't keep it a secret because anybody can get it. Come holler at your boy. It's not that difficult. We spend 3 months. Each month we go over one of the different A's of practical magic. There are 3 A's of practical magic: ascension, ancestors, and altars. All right, ascension is going to be the basic fundamental idea of what any spiritual work is doing. They have different ways of framing it, more especially depending on how you approach the work. Ancestors is the next one. If you can figure out ancestors and understand the fundamentals, you can deal with anything non-physically. Well, potentially, you actually got to get it, but that's a whole other thing. So ancestors will be the second month. And mind you, throughout all 3 months, we're always talking about ascension. Okay, so you're going to get basically 3 months of talking about it. Ancestors, you're basically going to get 2 months of talking about it. We finish out with altars. Okay, not only altars are what I like to do. They're one of my methodologies. But if you can understand the fundamentals of how it works, what you're doing, you can do any working tool. You can create working tools no one's ever heard of. But you need the fundamental principles and not just new names. The only principles anybody knows are the Hermetic principles, 7 Hermetic principles, and they just know how to say it. They just know how to repeat what was said. They don't understand it outside of trying to tell you it's physics. And it's not physics. It's not physics. They give you the law of vibration and all motherfuckers can think are atoms. But I'm the bad guy. It's alright. I don't mind being the bad guy, guys. I'm here for it. I'm a piece of shit. Cast a Spell says, I thought I had some decent methodology until I dissected everything within the guild. Yeah. And so often people are looking to jump to, well, how do I do this? How do I do that? How do I do this? And a question of how is a method question. It's a methodological question. And the only way you're going to effectively answer a methodological question is if you understand the fundamentals that are necessary. Okay? You have to. When most people jump over the fundamentals, presume they know them because they can repeat the words that they heard. You repeat a some Kaya word. What's one of those words? What's one of those words? Parushna, right? Oh, you see that? You said that. Christian don't know that word. That means you must know it, right? We heard you say it. Mm-mm. It's a fundamental of an entire cosmology. And if you don't understand the whole cosmology and how it fits together, giving you a methodology isn't going to work. It's just going to be more words. It's just going to be more words. So yeah, we spend each month going over all these things. So those are the A's. We're always talking about shadow work. Every Saturday while we have sessions, we go through shadow work. All right, we're gonna look at the fundamentals of the idea. I'm gonna always take you back to the beginning and show you the whole line of reasoning, so we can work on it. We can go through it. You can figure out what you do and don't understand. Excuse me, that was a good one. And not only that, see, not just the work. All right, we got study material. So I curate study material. I'll pick out things for you to be able to go back and look at. We can talk about them. We can figure some of these things out. Like, look, you're Anu, right? Motherfuckers are quick to say Anunnaki, but they don't think about the language. Anunnaki. Naki means children of. It's like saying how Jesus is made in the image of the Most High. Anunnaki. This isn't the Anu. It's a metaphysical dynamic. It has nothing to do with space aliens. But when you're in a room where everyone is supposed to be right, no one's right. The auric tree of life. They give you the image of the 4 different trees of life. Boom, there it is at once. Okay, and that's just one way of looking at it. I prefer the tetrahedron perspective. Okay, but once again, the devil is in the fucking details. You can't just jump out, be familiar with the image, say the names, and you got it. Like, that doesn't work. Nothing works like that. But, whatever. I'm a piece of shit. We got great names, right? That's a pun. So yeah, I have different things, different study material for you to look at. We can always talk about it. I have places for you guys to share the different things you've done. So it's not just you have your own work. Like, you can share, you can see what other people are working on. You can see how other people are taking in the same information you're looking at. The student hall was a new thing, where it takes some of me out of it, because when I walk in the room, I just fart, and everything looks terrifying as soon as I walk in the room. Here's a place for the students to come together and talk among the students. I'll drop in every now and then, but I'm a piece of shit. I can't help myself. I just get so excited. Like, look at them, they're doing things together. This is great. Look at you. I love it. Yeah. Like I said, this text archive. There's even a spot for reels and memes. People like reels and memes. You find a nice one on Instagram, bring it over, share it here. Anime suggestions. I give out, what I think are some really good animes, the spiritual stuff in it. But anyone's free to put some stuff up there. I like this one, the roast me. I had to poke them a little bit, but it got hot recently. You just put your picture up there, and let them go in. Give folks some space to go in on me. And just talk to me. We can open up other things. Cast a Spell wanted the place for some music. The playlists. So people come through and they drop some songs. It's shit for your playlist. Different ways for you guys to come together. And the chat feed be bumping. I can't even lie to you, but the chat feed stay popping. But so yeah, that's some of the private stuff. But I don't want to give you too much of it. Jump in and come see how it works. the way things move, and this is the calendar. I have the calendar set up for the whole year. All right, once you actually look at the calendar, it's very easy to figure out. Okay, very easy. But 4 times a year, we have Welcome Week. It's the first week of that block of 3 months. Okay, I spend the whole week making sure I can onboard people, that you're set up, you have everything you need. Payments are secured. People got their account set up. You know where to go. You get a little chance to test some things out, feel things out. Then we get into the 3 months, okay? And we even have vacation periods in between, so I'm not just ramming new things down your face, because I will. So yeah, take some time, look at the stuff. It's all here. You can download it. You can do whatever the fuck you want. This is what I'm looking for. But essentially, the guild is a continuous cohort class. So the class goes on continuously, okay? Over the 3 months, every month there's a block of 3 weeks, 3 consecutive weeks. Take that block. Each week, there are 3 sessions. Office hours, practical practice, and shadow work Saturdays. I don't record office hours, it's just up for the ethers. But practical practice and shadow work Saturdays, I record the sessions for you. So 3 times out the week, for 3 weeks, for 3 months, we have class. Okay? Yeah, take a look. I don't think it's that complicated. I think it's very simple, very easy to look at. Give you a place to get out here and fuck up. You gotta fuck up a few times to get it right. Even Neo in the Matrix, he had to fuck up on the jump and shit before he could be the one. It's necessary. Yeah, I wanted to jump into some of this today. And I may do another live stream tomorrow, talk about this some more, but I wanted to jump into a few of these today. And you guys are welcome to look at these. Links in the description. There's a section for asking dumb question. IDK, DK, DF. Good to see you in the chat. I don't think niggas understand how valuable this shit is. No, of course they don't. They're busy worshiping money and their fake humility. Nothing's more valuable than the 2 cents they have in their pocket. Fuck. Such a dick. Such a dick. So here, I just want to breeze through some of these. Because I usually think they're pertinent questions. And I don't treat your question like you're just an idiot. Okay? The motherfuckers sitting in the shadows who don't want to say nothing. Those are the idiots. This is Axul. Can you see it? Can you see the... Well, if you want to see it, you can go and click, and the thing is there. Here, let's do this. That'll work. Anamali says the free info has already been hella valuable. Thank you. Even when motherfuckers ask me, like, I'm always hesitant to suggest to people the things you have to pay for, because I don't want you to pay for it because I said it. There's plenty of stuff, plenty of places I'll talk to you for free. I'm not going to give you what I'll give you if you pay for it. The personal attention, as much as I'm going to give you, but they don't have to be this difficult. I got more content than most motherfuckers out here. I do better content than most folks. It's free, but hey, whatever. Here, have a free meditation mantra. No. I'm a piece of shit. Alright, Axul, he asks, what is the left-hand path? Why do people follow it, and what kind of people follow it? Pertinent question. Especially these days, people are rebelling against their cultures and religions. They want to feel different. And it's not bad, okay? It's not bad. But one of the avenues people will do is they'll jump on the left-hand path. And it's not, I'm not saying it, I'm not pointing it out because you're bad or something like that. But this is, the general route. Especially if folks listen to Panic. Brother Panic. People will claim or feel that they're on the left-hand path. They're interested in the spookier deities. They'll repeat the things that Panic says and claim to be teaching. They'll go to demons. Like, how you leave Christianity, saying you're doing something different, and the furthest you got was demons. Well, no, Arius, it's not demons, it's demons. That's what it really was. Okay, now you're invoking some Greek shit. Let me guess. That's the only part of the Greek shit you invoked, right? You tell the Christians they can't pick and choose, and you run off and pick and choose. I did a video about that already. Free, by the way. Anyways. What is the left-hand path? All right, and if you like, you can read the typed out response I gave to him. But I do want to jump into this because I think it's very pertinent. In the Western tradition, okay, speaking English, in the Western tradition, there are generally 3 different angles of approach to the work of ascension in its many forms. 3 different angles of approach to the work. Generally, the most popular ones are going to be the right-hand path, the left-hand path, and then the middle path. Okay? Mind you, one way I like to say it is these are physical life policy, but a more exact way to say it is it's the angle of approach that you are taking to the work. Here, let me throw this open here. This might help you out a little bit. If anything, it's gonna help you. Harris, I don't need any help. Fuck you. Cool, you're alright, man. Do your thing. Do your thing, man. You're getting it. Where am I at? Here, I'm gonna open this up. I'm gonna open up the Bookman model. Once again, you can download these things for free. Because I don't keep it secret from you. Oh, here's this gatekeeping. Oh, you're trying to hide the secrets. You can't sell the secrets, Arius. I'm not selling you secrets. Anyways, in the Western tradition, there are 3 fundamental angles of approach to the same work. See, what most people think, okay, I've jumped to the left-hand path. Now what I'm doing is essentially different. Not necessarily. Like I said, people will go from God and angels to the devil and demons, and you didn't go very far. Mommy, I'm running away from home. Okay, and you just camp out in the front yard. I mean, technically you ran away from home, but you didn't really go that far. And I'm not just saying it to shit on you, okay? Generally, most people think the right-hand path is organized religion. That is an example of the right-hand path, just like a German Shepherd is an example of a dog. But all dogs are not German Shepherds. So to be more precise, the right-hand path, because what's going to make the distinction between the 3 paths is how you're approaching the same fucking thing. It really, I would like to say, it's what is you. But, I say that, and, people's eyes glows over. Oh, my God, what's he talking about? You're trying to distract me, Arius. Okay, whatever. In the Bookman model, I call this angle of the approach the path of the child, okay? I remember I pointed out to somebody that they didn't understand what left-hand path was. And it's just like, you got a right hand and a left hand, right? Duh! So don't you understand, Arius? And I'm like, dude, you clearly don't understand what you're talking about. But it's okay. It's okay. So I usually try and get away from the framing of the Western tradition, although you can't really escape it. But with the right-hand path, your angle of approach is essentially this. What it is that you are is something that, for all intents and purposes, is separate from source. Why do I say separate from source? Because the work on the right-hand path is to return to source. It's that simple. I don't care what you say the source is. I don't care what you say your configuration of deities are. If what you is something that must reconnect and return to source, it's the right-hand path. And it's not bad. See, some people have associated with right-hand path is bad. I'm never going to do that. I'm rejecting that. That's just weak. It's not. It's actually very, very effective. It has a plethora of utility, and it's the best for people who are trying to figure it out. It's not something you have to run away from. So in the Bookman model, when we're talking about it, when we're talking about ascension, this is called the path of the child. Okay, not because you have to be a child, not because it's the lowest. Like, these are three different angles of approach to the same thing. This is why I keep this lower image here. It has three related circles in each of the image, and depending on how you approach the same thing, it appears to you differently. It's that simple. It's that simple. Like, I can get directions on Google Maps, right? And I can say, okay, I want to go from where I'm at to the grocery store, okay? One angle of approach is to take my car. Another angle of approach would be to walk. Another angle of approach would be to take the subway. Now, where I start and where I'm ending stays the same. But depending on which angle of approach I take, the entire path looks different. It's that simple. You can make a right-hand path practice with spooky deities. You really can. You can go demons and vampires and still be right-hand path. Anyway, so that's the right-hand path. A lot of people in rejecting the right-hand path go to the middle path, all right? They'll say right and left are just extremes, and what you really want to do is just be in the center. You know, most of these people will say, and once again, not wrong, not bad, not telling you shouldn't. Most of these people will focus heavily on the feeling of balance, okay? They'll encourage balance, mindfulness, meditation. The beginning is the end. The start is the finish. Once again, I'm going to tell you that's wrong, because from this angle of approach, that's accurate. That's completely true. Okay, so, and once again, each of these angles of approach come with different methodologies. Just like taking your car, walking, or taking the subway, each have their own methodologies you need to know. If you take your car, you don't need to figure out the times of the trains or which ones go where. If you walk, you don't need to know which expressway you should be going on. You probably shouldn't be on the expressway at all. If you take the subway, you don't need to know what landmarks to look out for on this particular street or that particular street. Each of them are going to come with their own methodologies that are correct in their own right. And a lot of times people will take different methodologies from the middle path and do the fake humble thing. You know, where they pretend like what they don't feel what they're doing is just the best, and everyone else has really just missed it. Usually people like this, you know, because they can say the beginning is the end, start is the finish. You know, there's nowhere to go, there's nothing to do. Usually some type of a enlightenment or grand realization, nirvana. Okay, there's an example. And even though they'll know what the solution is, they'll still spend a lot of time going from this person to that person to this person to that person, mostly just reaffirming what they already agree with. You know, anything that sounds neutral and balanced, they'll usually agree with. I'm not a big fan of balance. I would like to say that existence is already in balance. The thing that's out of balance is you. But what is you, right? So, In the Bookman model, the middle path is called the path of the mother. Once again, these are not progressions from one to the next. One of these is not better than the other, just like this image at the bottom with the 3 consecutive circles, okay? They're different angles of approach to the same work, okay? And not generally, I always want to go over all of them because let's say your car breaks down and all you've ever known is that methodology. Well, now you need to use walking or the subway, and the path is going to look completely different. Not because anybody's right or wrong about it, but it's a different angle of approach. All right, let's say you've been using the car, but for the next week and a half, they're going to have construction halfway down your path. And so you can take the car the first path, but down the second half, you're going to have to take the subway. Let's say you take the subway every day. Boom, I'm always subway. Oh, that's all I do. But there's construction on the subway. And now you got to walk. Now you got to drive. It's the same destination, but you're going to have a different methodology, and you need to be able to pick it up. You need to be able to recognize it. Let's say I always walk. I'm always walking. Walking is what I do. But on one of them walks, you sprained your fucking ankle. You might need to take the subway or catch the car every now and then. Otherwise, you're just going to hurt yourself even more. Some people will try and stick to a single path out of pride, out of tribalism. Neither of those are what this is about. You need to be able to recognize your destination, your path, from any of these angles of approach. You need to be able to jump, switch, and shift. Why? Because the terrain itself is always changing. It's always changing. And so if all I ever give you is how to walk to work, you eventually, it's going to catch up to you. The terrain is always changing. If all you got is how to do the subway, you're going to fuck it up. Not because something was wrong, I shouldn't have taught you that. Because look, I'll just say all I ever teach you is the subway route. But then one day you have to work and you end up seeing this homeless dude who's chasing you around. And you say, hey, Arius, why you ain't tell me about the homeless dude on my way to work? There's a whole different methodology for that. So once again, we go through all of these, okay? So that's the middle path. That's the path of the mother. Generally, people like this, like I said, the beginning is the end. The start is the finish. There's nowhere to go. All is illusion, all right? Even the self is illusion on the middle path, the path of the mother, okay? So there's different methodologies for this angle of approach. The last one is just what he asked me about. This is the left-hand path, path of the father in the Bookman model. Just like we talked about with the path of the child, where what you is something that returns to source. On the path of the father, on the left-hand path, what that you is, the idea of self and source is switched. There's still work to be done, mind you, and there's a much finer line to walk. But your premises of thinking is what we're talking about. How you're choosing to begin your work. What angle of approach you're taking. I can give you a map of the mall, right? And depending on what part of the mall you enter into is going to determine how you get to the food court, how you get to Sears, how you get to the candy shop. And it's not because I said so. It's not me trying to show you, follow me, but don't follow me because we're humble. No, there are basic fundamental ideas you need to understand. This is more than just finding a spookier deity and repeating a Sanskrit word. The devil's in the fucking details, okay? So with the left-hand path, like I said, it's a very fine line to walk. because it's if you don't have a good grasp of pride and the other six of those sins, and to sin is to miss the mark. Okay, it's not some ultimate breaking of a rule. It's what's the course that you're on? What course are you on? Okay, so if there's a course that you're on, it's possible for you to miss the mark. And that's what we're talking about with a sin, with those 7 deadly sins, okay? If you cannot recognize the smell of your own pride, it's going to fuck you. It's not because one of you or it is bad. It's like if you don't understand how to tell when your kid is lying, that's not the child's fault. It's yours. And a lot of times people confuse the ego with their own personal pride. So, and I think Travis Major said it wonderfully. Is that to do the left-hand path, you're going to have to be able to dance a very specific dance, and if you don't, you're going to end up making monuments to your own bullshit. Trust me, I know. So, I usually don't even recommend the path of the Father, and more especially if you don't have a grasp of your fundamentals. If you don't have a grasp of your fundamentals, this is going to do nothing but fuck you up. I'm not saying you won't make it to your destination, but it's going to take you a lot longer. Okay? It's going to be a lot more ruthless. It's not going to feel good. It's going to be awful. Especially if you try and do it by yourself. So, those are the 3 different paths of ascension. Those are the 3 different fundamental angles of approach to the same work, okay? 3 fundamental angles of approach to the same work. I don't need to read you anybody's ancient rites or religion for you to comprehend that. It's very simple, guys. Very simple. Let me see another one I want to jump onto. Let me do casting spells. Boom. Let's check it out. Hey, you can see a little bit. Hey, guys, that's fun. I'm a piece of shit. I'm sorry. Let me continue. I ask this because I know there are other methods out there. I've done both already. I've followed methods wholeheartedly, and I've also created my own. Sometimes I feel like I'm great at following directions, but I resent it as well. I love my own creations, so I created my own methods. I recently did a lot of pruning of my own work, and I'm left with very simplistic methods, or not even methods, but pillars. They resonate with other methods, and it's low-key scary because I don't want to follow anything other than what I come across on my own. Sounds a little prideful, yet I'm satisfied with that movement. I don't know if I'm just pissed that it's similar in ways to other methods, or that I should just give in to them. I like this. And she does allude to the pride, because I'm gonna point it out. Look, you'd have thought he's his daddy. Them kids look just like their daddy. No. Yeah, pride, you gotta be able to recognize it. And there's a lot of people, part of the reason I picked this one out, there's a lot of people who are rebelling very strongly, and the only thing they want to do is, well, I want to do my thing my way. I want to make my own universe with my truth, and I won't tell you can't. But if you don't recognize that pride, it's gonna fuck you. If you have a gripe with Christianity or whatever religion you came up in, you're going to have trouble. Because in order to effectively do this work, you have to be moving towards it and not moving away from something else. You have to be playing to win and not playing not to lose. I remember Bobby Hibbett once said, I think Panic might have repeated this too. The depth to which he wanted to know was so deep that he was like, fuck it. I want to know what's in here, even if it leads me to have to go back to being a Christian. I want to know. And you got to know that deep. You got to want to know that deep. That passionately, that fervently. You need to want to know that deep. You want to know so deep. You want to know it even if it hurts. And so when you're out here, you're making your own methodology, you need to be able to recognize the smell of that shit, of your bullshit, getting in your own way, okay? Because there's nothing wrong with creating your own methodologies. It's just, it's very easy to take everything that the rites and religions of the past have given you for granted. It's easy to look at Christianity and just say, it's all fake, it's all made up, it's all here to try and control me. It's easy to say, especially when you've done little to no research on Christianity itself. You know, it's arrogant, but kids, I get it. It's not wrong. You know, it's just, you got to be able to check it. She mentioned doing some pruning to her methods, okay? Because a lot of times, especially when we get in here, people are looking, how do I do this? How do I do that? How do I do this? Before they check the fundamentals. And so they have methods, and when you get in the guild, and I'm pointing you back to the fundamentals, you know, I'm encouraging you to prune back this bush. You know, you got all these different things you picked up from here and here and here and here and here, you know, pocket full of things. It's like you're trying to put it together, and you may put it together in some ways. But if you want everything to fit together cohesively, you're going to have to prune that back a little bit. You're going to have to cut away some of the dead wood that's overgrown, it's getting in its own way. Okay? It's necessary. And when you do, you'll find like she said, some basic pillars of what you're doing, of your work, of your cosmology. These are going to be some of those fundamentals, okay? And based on the fundamentals, that's what you use to construct your methodologies. And mind you, you prune it back, what's it going to do? Grow back again. And so what are you going to have to do? Prune it back again. See, this is the lifestyle part of this. All right, this is work that was done over hundreds of thousands of years. And you're trying to do it in your lifetime from scratch. It's not easy. Even if you feel good repeating a Sanskrit word, that ain't it. That ain't it. It's not. But I mean, I get why people think that, because it feels a certain way. So, continuing. We work on helping you to build your own methodologies, okay? To flesh out your own fundamentals. I'm satisfied with that movement. I don't know if I'm just pissed that it's similar in ways to other methods, or that I should just give in to them. Sometimes, you know, especially since a lot of us brought up through those monotheistic Abrahamic religions, Christianity, Judaism, Islam, and then you rebelling against them, you don't want the new thing you have to look like it. And so you're like, oh no, Jesus better not show up over here. Is that Allah? No! I'm better than that. And it's like, come on, slow down. Like, it's in you. It's in you. And you have to recognize it. Not so you can scrub it out or get it away. You got to recognize what it's doing, what role it's playing, how it already fits in. Like, one of the ways people mess up with shadow work, one of the places where they fuck up with shadow work is they get in there and they think, okay, what I'm doing is getting rid of all this stuff that's in here that shouldn't be here. And I'm like, no, you need to understand it. You remember when you were little and your parents didn't take the time to understand you, but they told you what you need to do? Yeah, the trauma, right? And you're going to walk your ass into your shit and do the same thing. Mm-mm. It's not going. Not only is it not going to work, it's wrong. You can't walk into your psyche and decide that you just gonna push shit out. Mm-mm. You need to figure out why it's there, what it's doing. You need to hear it out. Imagine how you felt. You wanted your parents to get to know you a little better, to pay more attention, to really understand you before they told you what to do. Yeah, that's what you're gonna have to do. But it's not easy. It don't tickle. It don't feel as good as just telling yourself, I release all the negative trauma and I'm good. Nope. But go ahead, fuck around and find out if you want to. Fuck around and find out if you want to. So how did I respond to this? Well, let me pull out the question itself again. Hold on. The question was in the title itself. Here, excuse me, let me pop this up. Do I need to? So basically, the question is, do I need to create my own methodology? To be completely honest, and some people may hate me for this, if you grew up in the Western world, you're probably better off going off back to Christianity or re-examining Christianity. It's in the language. It's in the culture. If you were never in your life actually a devout Christian, you need to go back and look. I'm not saying you need to go worship Jesus, and I'm saying you need to go back and look because you can't get away from it. But I'm not against you guys creating your own methodologies. It most certainly can be done. It most certainly can be done, and I don't think it's something that's just far out. But in order to do it, you're going to want to understand what a methodology is. This is why a lot of people end up preaching pseudoscience, trying to spiritualize Newtonian physics and quantum physics. Quantum physics is not spiritual. Quantum physics is not spiritual. What it does is subvert your expectations on how you think the physical world is supposed to work. So usually when people have to meet with the bounds of their understanding of the world, that's when they get spiritual. And so the things that they don't quite understand, they just kind of push it to there and claim that's spiritual. There's a cosmology being invoked. There's a cosmology being invoked. They tell you the tree of life is a map of all of reality. But when you hear that, you start breaking reality into atoms and particles and quarks and strings and Higgsy bosons. You already came with presuppositions that did not exist when they made those maps. It's wrong. And trying to historiographically, meaning trying to place your current understanding of the world onto how they understood the world is inaccurate. You have to really let go of your own understanding to pick that up. Like, in order to properly chew samkhya, you gonna have to learn the history of the place it came from, the culture, the language, the politics, the political history, in order to understand what you're looking at. It's not just pick up a book, join a group, and hum. I'm gonna teach meditation now. Oh, I'm such a dick. I'm so sorry. I wouldn't say, so to answer the question, I wouldn't say anyone necessarily needs to, because there's plenty of methodologies out there. You just got to get the cosmology that goes with them. And most motherfuckers pretend they're not Christian anymore and still divide the world into heaven and hell, angels and demons. Okay? You invoke the cosmology. But If you want to create your own methodologies, it's not a problem. You have to take it back from scratch, but it's not a problem. You can do it and make it part of your everyday life. But you're really going to have to contend with what you believe. And just saying it confidently with your chest out don't mean you believe. Animali, not being a bitch to my inner child. Guilty. It's something I've been working on though. Yeah. Like you'd be surprised how often we'll look back and say, well, so-and-so did this to me and it was traumatic. And then you do it to yourself. Right? Oh yeah, I know, I get it, I've been in it. I'll even find places I'm still in it. So yeah, it's something you gotta be able to look out for. I'm so serious. But we talk about it, Shadow Work Saturdays. Maestro, good to see you in the building. Look, Maestro is someone who actually looked into some of the history of Christianity, the political and cultural history, the history of the language. All those are necessary to understand contemporary Christianity. See, once again, most people don't try and understand, they try and fit in. Just saying. Got to spell. Facts. Had to go re-examine my old religion in order to bring forth my methodology. It does have similarities, but not as many as I thought. Oh yeah, you're going to find the similarities. You're going to have to go through them. Especially if you speak in the English language, you're going to have to contend with Christianity. You ain't going to get around it. You can try, but you're going to look like a damn fool, boy. I'm telling you what. And it's not bad to find Jesus in your cosmology. It's not. Now, if you're rejecting and rebelling against it, then you're going to think, oh, this is bad. Oh, no, what? No. You know, people like to do the thing where they say, you know, I don't worship anything outside of myself. Oh, that sounds real good. That sounds real good. And what it tells me, though, is you didn't understand any of those cosmologies because they weren't worshiping something outside of themselves. Now, people who weren't initiated into the work, of course they were doing that. They had no other way to understand it. But when you're initiated into the work, part of the initiation process is showing you how that works. And this is why I'm going to ask motherfuckers, what is you? What do you mean by myself? It's easy to say, oh, this is a reflection of yourself. It's just you in you, looking at you, with you, by you, through you, in you, you. Don't you understand? And then people just learn to repeat that. Learn to say that. You start saying, well, really, it's you vibrating in you, through you. And once you vibrate the way you need to vibrate with you, then you become the you always was you. It's word salad. But then you got the check, fire, facts. Let me play my video. Because look, motherfuckers will get you in your emotions, get you feeling real nice. You say that check, fire, and that facts. You say that check, fire, and that facts, you good. Here, let me listen to it.
And if everybody agreeing on the same thing, somebody wrong. You see? Check? Check. All right then. They play on your emotion. Saying nothing well and playing on your emotion. Tell a person what they want to hear and say nothing well. You can say nothing if you can say it well. They play on your emotion. And that's the problem with our people. They have been teaching you what you wanted to hear and not what you really needed to hear because they didn't know what you really needed to hear. That's called the art of public speaking. They play on your emotion. So that's getting your emotion up to a certain level, and you thinking that's spiritual, that's emotionalism. They play on your emotion. And they'd come up and they would come into some stuff and they would be talking all this good stuff and people, yeah. But everybody's ignorant. You see what I'm saying? They play on your emotion. And if everybody agreeing on the same thing, somebody wrong. You see? Check? Check. All right then.
Well, Bobby Hemmings say check. What check is he ain't saying amen. Check as in, is there anybody who didn't understand? And that's when the doors open, your opportunity to contend with whether or not you understood. Ask a dumb question. Risk sounding dumb. Risk saying something that everybody else don't agree with. Check as in he's checking to see if anybody got something. But all motherfuckers got is rhetoric is the art of speaking. Alright? Especially motherfuckers who don't know nothing about rhetoric, you can't tell. You can't tell when somebody's saying something that's bullshit because you're going by how you feel when you heard it. And it feel real good. You done got away from Christianity like you think, right? And you done found a group of people who saying the spiritual words. They done took that 2 cents you had in your pocket and gave you that validation for it. Made you feel like that 2 cents was about $3.50. Oh yeah. Play on your emotion. Manufactured rapport. Playing on your emotions. And I'm not gonna say motherfuckers shouldn't do it. I'm gonna say you need not be so gullible. That's your issue. It's not that somebody was hiding something from you. It's not that you were lied to your whole life. You're gullible. You don't have to be. More especially in the age of information. But this is also the age of validation porn. You can find damn near anything to validate any position you already wanted to have. Which is why in the guild we get into what do you really believe up under what you want to believe. See, look, you call me the bad guy all you want to. All you want to. I'm just pointing it out, bro. I'm pointing it out. Because look, other motherfuckers, you cut into their bottom line if you point it out. Because they getting their money. So you come in there and you get that good feeling. No, it's not a good feeling, Arius. It's my intuition. Oh, I'm going to say that too. Nobody needs to look up intuition. Nobody needs to research it. You hear it. Oh, I'm going to say that too. I can't wait till a Christian says something about, hey man, stop praying. Trust your intuition. Motherfucker, come on, say a bunch of spirity words. You don't know what they mean. Say some sciencey words. You don't know what they mean, but he sound confident. Like the Boondocks garden party, right? No matter what the fuck come out their mouth, they gonna clap. They gonna clap. Because that's what they was here for. Just like church on Sunday. That's what they was there for. They want to feel included. They want to feel good. They want to feel like, hey, this 2 cents I got that everybody say we're shit, if I bring it here, they gonna treat it like it's $3.50. They gonna give me a spot on screen. They gonna really recognize me for the expert I am. It's bullshit. It's bullshit. Ronald Waker was the devil. Yeah, I gotta go back and watch the Boondocks again. I love that shit. Ronald Waker was the devil. Check. Fire. Facts. 100. 100. Nah, man. I ain't here for the compliments. Cause man, compliments is just as bad as criticism. Motherfuckers will criticize you with compliments. Man, please. I ain't interested in your compliments, boy. Ronald Reagan was an actor. Ronald Reagan was an actor. These motherfuckers on television are actors. No, Aries, this is reality TV. Don't you hear the word reality in it? that means it's real. You're too low vibration to get it. If you know, you know. Fucking bullshit. Motherfuckers will do the thing where they just where they sit here presenting information, but it'll tell you, well, no, really, I'm just a student. No, you're not. You're teaching. You sit here repeating the shit you heard in the book. Capping ass shit. What that does is validate why you talking at all. That way, if somebody challenges you, oh, well, I'm just a student. We're all learning. No. You open your mouth and you're at the front of the class. You're presenting. Come on now. But it's bullshit, and you got to be able to smell your own bullshit. Because otherwise, what's going to happen is you're going to end up with your nose high in the air. It smells shitty around here. It must be y'all. I can't stand this world. Everybody's so shitty. Ugh, look at them. Don't they understand that it's all within you? That you are the you within you that does the you? And once you vibrate to the vibration of you, then you become the God that is you. Ugh, they just don't understand. Ugh, the smell. Well, me, I'm humble. So, I don't do the things you do, but I'm learning. I'm a student. Oh, get the fuck out of here. But that's the thing. Motherfuckers don't know. Because you walk in that room, they put you at the front of the room and give you that. Ooh, you didn't get the validation. You didn't get the validation from mama and daddy. You really want it. Mama and daddy didn't validate it. The folk at the church. Your friends, they ain't validated. So it's you don't just want to say you crazy. You wrong. Oh no. That's all of them. You smell, ooh yeah, that's them. That's gotta be them. That can't be me. Ooh. Well, hey, I'm a bad guy. Whatever. Fuck me, right? Yo, I'm gonna finish this out with one more question, man. One piece of shit. Fucking ranted like this. This one was a pertinent one. I liked this question. Because I don't want. I say it a lot, and that doesn't stop people from missing it when I say it. I don't want anyone to think that the Bookman model is the end all be all. It isn't. It's a bare bones cosmology. It's a fucking stripped skeleton. It is bare bones. So it's not here. Come, look at me, follow me. I'm showing you something you've never seen before. No, I'll tell you I was the same shit you've been fucking with. The issue isn't that this is a new thing. The issue is you didn't understand the old shit. And you thought you understood because you got that check firing facts. Ooh, get a little screen time. Ooh, they give you the screen time now. You feel official. Ooh, they give you that screen time. You feel official. Oh, God. Oh, let me get there. I'm sorry, I'm a piece of shit. Third approximately asks, when you created the Bookman model and presented 3 ontological entities, primordial, non-physical, and physical, and 3 epistemic objects, soul, spirit, and body, was the 1-to-1 ratio a necessity? Or could one have a model sliced up where there is 3 in ontology and X in epistemology? This is an excellent question. For those of you who've only been listening to your run-of-the-mill spiritual teacher, they haven't taught you about metaphysics or cosmology. Cosmology is part of metaphysics. But the other two parts of metaphysics are going to be ontology and epistemology. Because metaphysics isn't just spooky words. Metaphysics is a branch of philosophy, thinking about your thinking. Ontology is the branch of philosophy that asks questions about what is, what exists. What constitutes that category? What are the different types of things that exist fundamentally? Okay? You need to understand that. Or you can just presume you already know. Assume it's materialism, atoms, glands, and cells. I already know the fundamentals areas. Ha! Ontology says, okay, what is real? When you make a claim, well, such and such is not real. Such and such is real. That is an ontological claim. You're invoking metaphysics. That's an issue of metaphysics. See, Newtonian physics, Western science isn't usually concerned about whether or not something is real. It's more concerned about how to predict behavior. It's not talking about what is real. What's true? No, these are philosophical questions. And you have to understand what that means. It's part of the reason I made the Bookman model and I teach it the way that I do. Epistemology. This is the study of knowledge. How do we know what we know? What can be known? How do we know? Okay? That is epistemology. I include both ontology and epistemology in the Bookman model. Yeah, let me pull it up again. Even if you're a Christian, there's an ontology and an epistemology. Even if you're a Muslim, you're a Jew, you're practicing Santeria, Kimbamba, there's still ontology and epistemology. And if you don't understand what those things are, I know you don't understand what the cosmologies were. See, back in the day when a motherfucker said Ra is light, that was serious. It's not, well, Ra corresponds to light, and they knew light is mostly photons with a... No. Photons? Little vibrating specks? No. That's Ra. The motherfuckers don't get it though. They want to feel like they get it. Get that 2 cents, get treated like it's $3.50. And now you teaching. Let's stop. Anyways, I'm sorry. The Bookman model contains ontology and epistemology. We go over in the guild exactly what these things are. I've gone over them in videos, okay? With the Bookman model, here we go. Let's go to where I have a specific page that'll have all of it on there at the same time. There we go. Boom. On the Bookman model, we have an ontological level and an epistemological level. They're really inextricably connected. But this question was, okay, I have the 3 categories there ontologically and the 3 epistemic categories that go right along with them. Like I said, this is a bare bones cosmology. You're going to need at least 3 ontological categories. If you have just one, you're going to need a lot more epistemic categories. All right. I prefer to keep that triune base on ontology, because once you say everything is just one thing, you don't have enough substance to force a conversation about anything else, because you just reduce everything to one thing. And then, okay, so what are we even talking about? Why have conversations about other things? But once again, you can make the argument for it, and I'd love to go back and forth. It's fun. But in a dual cosmology, it's not going to be reconcilable. You can go back to Descartes to learn that. So I start with the 3 categories. But within each of those categories, there is a mechanism by which we can know, or that which we can know. But you could very well do more epistemic categories. Like, let's go back up here. Because look, there's the Bookman model at the top. Here at the bottom are the models that you know of, you're familiar with. Your tree of life or your Kalipov, your sevenfold with the chakras, okay? Same difference. Like, look at the non-physical, you have one ontological category, but there's 6 epistemic levels at least. The primordial realm, ontological category, there's at least 3 to 4. And that's if you have your relationship between the tree of life and the Kalipoff in an appropriate understanding. And then if you would, I keep the physical world as just one thing. There's so many different ways to talk about this, the structure or the composition of the physical world. But if we're talking spiritual, the composition of the physical world is beside the point. It's not to say it doesn't matter at all, but it's beside the point. Maestro, getting the concepts, i.e. ontology and epistemology, outside of cosmology, I get confused. Understanding them outside of cosmology, you get confused? Well, first thing I say is the information age. There's plenty of people who are talking about these things. Like these subjects have a very long history. There's plenty of different people talking about it, but outside of cosmology, the fields are less constricted. I like to teach them with cosmology because it keeps them in a particular context, so it's easier to grasp. I equate cosmology and framework in my mind. Well, cosmology is a framework, but a framework isn't necessarily a cosmology. Like a German Shepherd is a dog, but a dog isn't necessarily a German Shepherd. Well, yeah, that's the error. And it's a category error. It's a category error, and it's a very common error and understandable error to make. But the reason I teach them through the lens of cosmology is because they're easier to grasp. Like, here's an example I always give. And this is part of the reason I delineate these 3 questions, the existential essentials. Any cosmology, any right or religion is going to answer these 3 questions for you. And if they're really good, they're going to answer those questions so well, you'll never even think about the fact that the questions were answered. It'll be seamless, which is what you ultimately want if you're going to be making these things from scratch. And so the first level of analysis is an ontological analysis. It's what is reality at large. The next level is an epistemic. Okay, so if we're saying this is what exists at large, then what can be known in context of that? All right, that's your second level. But you need both of those levels to be able to form a methodology. See, if you jump straight to methodology, God, especially if you're using Western sciences, physicalism, and Newtonian physics, it's going to be pseudoscience. Why? Because Newtonian physics and quantum physics, they're all epistemology and ontology. There's no methodology. They're made not to have a you in it. And people are looking at, how do I fit this to myself? Make it part of my everyday life. That's what the how is looking for. But this is cosmological bleach. Materialism, physicalism, particle physics, quantum physics. This is cosmological bleach. Bleach in the sense that bleach is made not to support life. The fact that bleach doesn't support life isn't an error. It's not a bug in the system. It's a feature of that system. But then try and take bleach and use it to support life. You've made an error. You don't understand what bleach is for. All right, so that's what people are doing when they try and take these particle physics, your cells and your glands, and make a cosmological narrative. Fit you into it. There is no you in it, and it's made that way. You can't retrofit it to there. There's nothing you can do to bleach to make it conducive to life. And it's not bad. It's just an understanding of bleach. So when you're going to build these things from the ground up, you kind of have to have a slight understanding of that dynamic. And that's what these existential essentials help to hone in, that understanding of that dynamic. Epistemology aims to answer the questions such as, what do people know? What does it mean to say that people know something? And what makes justified beliefs justified? Yes. It's a whole branch of philosophy. That's what I'm saying. People will say metaphysics. They don't understand metaphysics. That's part of the reason I'm always pissed off. Because it's just, Aries, you're just too low vibrational. Yeah, if you know, you know, and you don't know, Aries. It's the age of information. Like, motherfuckers could know, but they don't want to try and know. They like to already know and then pretend like they know nothing. I don't know anything. Well, what are you teaching for? So yeah, you need that ontology and epistemology. They're going to form the basis of your cosmology, and by virtue of that, you can have a methodology. You can have a narrative continuity between that ontology and epistemology, because that's going to give you a you. That's going to nest you in the world. It's going to fit you to the world that you experience. A lot of people today in contemporary society, with their post-enlightenment materialist metaphysics, which they don't realize they have because they don't examine it, their post-enlightenment materialist metaphysics has no you in it. The most you got is it's all random. There's your monkey on a rock floating in space randomly. There's no you in it. You're not connected to the cosmos. And without that, you can't make any of it part of your day-to-day life. You can't build methodologies. That's why people are always coming up with random anything and just claiming it's the thing. I heard one motherfucker on Instagram talking about, you activate your third eye by rolling your eyes behind you, rolling your eyes back, right? Oh, look at this. This activates your third eye because it massages your pineal gland and gets the blood flowing. It's like, dude. And you can't tell them that's bullshit. You can't even question it because they live in a world where everyone's right and this is my truth. Well, if it was your truth, why are you telling anybody? Because you don't just think it's your truth. You think it's truth. Ooh. But you're too humble to look at yourself. In fact, you're like, no, I've already looked at myself. I know that. That's done. I did my shadow work, Aries. I'm going to say this. Shadow work is like wiping your ass. I don't care how clean you got it yesterday. It's going to be shitty again today. It's going to smell like shit every day. And it's not because something's wrong. Hell, you start having a few days where you don't have to shit, something's wrong. You go a few days without wiping your ass, something's wrong, itchy. Oh shit. You know what I'm saying, bro? Shit could be simple, but motherfuckers too busy trying to be fake new preachers while they pretend like they're not doing it with the fake humble shit. It's just, but hey, check fire facts. We tapping in 100. So yeah, man, this is the first day of Welcome Week. I might do another live tomorrow. I don't know. I already have so much content. Motherfuckers come, look at how much content I have, and just be like, oh no, I never have enough time. And so they never start. And then a year later, you're like, hey, did you look at the stuff? No, I never had time. What? It's been a year. Okay. If you'd have started a year ago, you'd be well into it. But hey, what do I know? I'm just a hater. Fuck you, Aries. You're a hater. Yeah, you're right. I'm a hater, but that doesn't mean I'm wrong. I'm a hater. Doesn't mean I'm wrong. So, yeah, man, check the links at the bottom. Check out the details. Ask questions. But if you're feeling confident enough, which you're probably not, you're fucking pathetic. God, don't be a dick. But fuck. Get in the guild. You got a week. Get in the guild. We're going to take an expedition through the fundamentals of practical magic. I don't just want to give you words to repeat. I want you to begin examining the ones you got in your pocket already. That's what's going to make the difference. When Neo couldn't jump over the gap between the buildings, it wasn't because the space was too far. In the Matrix, that's what it is? No. Let go. What do you really believe? You gotta contend with it. You gotta get in there and find all the stupid, nasty, ridiculous shit you're holding on to and you never have to admit to. Does the sound of them claps, that check firing facts got you feeling good? Boy, give you a little screen time? I've clearly made it. I mean, I'm on screen, so you should check out the live I'm in. I mean, you may as well just call it my live, you know. Oh, no, I'm humble. Y'all pieces of shit. How I know? Because I'm a piece of shit. Alright, man. Y'all have a great fucking day, bro. This has been fun. God, I'm awful.